When you think about the Dragon Ball specials, the first thing that probably comes to mind is the history of Trunks or Bardock, the father of Goku. But what if I told you that there are some specials that are so rare that they have never been released to date and have never been dubbed in English? Well, to answer all of your thoughts, alrighty guys, it is Qaaman here today, and I'm bringing you my first episode of Dragon Ball Z History, the informative twin of my new series from last week in Dragon Ball Z Theory. So today I will bring you the 7 rarest specials in Dragon Ball history. So let's get started. Starting off with number 1 is Yearend Goku and his friends return. This special was an original video animation that had a manga adaptation created by Naho Oishi. To sum this special up, it was created as part of 2008's Jump Super Anime Tour hosted by Shueisha in order to screen popular anime and manga series, which of course Dragon Ball was selected. Moving on to the plot, Hercule, better known as Mr. Satan, was holding a party for all of his friends at a new hotel built for him in honor of defeating Majin Buu. Later on, Vegeta is visited by his younger brother Tarbell, who informs him of Abo and Kato, who were said to be around the strength of Frieza. Now, since Frieza's strength in comparison isn't that powerful at this point in time, Goten and Trunks were chosen to fight against Abo and Kato instead, to which a big fight ultimately ensues and the fate of the planet Earth is decided. Now, on a side note, I should point out that Goku is shown as a radish farmer in this special, and on another side note, Tarbell actually had a wife named Yor. Now, in terms of its release, Yearend Goku and his friends return was released on DVD only in a limited mail order for the Jump Super Anime Tour. It was also released as part of Battle of Gods limited edition box. Moving on to number 2, I present to you the Dream 9 One Piece Torico and Dragon Ball Z special of 2013. This special was created as a way to celebrate the 3rd year of the Torico anime. It is also important to note that this special aired literally the week after Battle of Gods came out. Now, in terms of the plot, Goku and the other contestants are all having a huge race in order to be able to eat the carrot sizzled cattle. Pretty much it's a cattle that has diamond for bones that is super delicious. After Torico, Goku, and Luffy have a draw in the race, they fight to determine the winner of the tournament and ultimately destroy the ring, leaving Mr. Satan as the winner by luck. After this, they then proceed to enjoy their meal as a courtesy of Mr. Satan. Now, to summarize Plot 2's part, it is revealed that the director of this actual tournament, called Mansam from Torico, actually wanted to bring all of these fighters to lure out Akami, who's basically a mystical and evil fish, so that these strong fighters can defeat it. The plot then concludes with Goku, Luffy, and Torico fighting together to defeat Akami. Now, in terms of this crossover special, it was never released and dubbed as it was only seen on Fuji TV. Now, moving on to number 3, many of you are probably familiar with Raging Blast's version of A Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans, but that remake was based on the original 1993 VHS release. Now, in terms of its origins, this OVA was based on the Dragon Ball Z Gaiden video game for the Nintendo Famicom. 2 games were then created afterwards for the Playdia console, which include a game for the Earth chapter and 1 game for the Space chapter called the Chikyu Hen and the Yuchu Hen. In these 2 installments, the player basically dictates the outcome of the story by choosing from a variety of outcomes and sequences, each giving its own ultimate outcome. Now, in terms of the actual OVA itself, the first part features the Z Fighters venturing across Earth in an attempt to destroy something known as the Destron gas, which saps the Earth of its energy along with all of the Z Fighters. This part was completely cut out of the Raging Blast remake, as the Z Fighters were shown fighting against several monsters that were protecting the barriers that were producing the Destron gas. Now, besides the first half, pretty much the exact same thing as the Raging Blast special happens afterwards, where they face against the ghost versions of Frieza, Cooler Slug, and Turles. After this, they then head over to what is referred to as the Dark Planet, where they take on Dr. Raichi and ultimately Hachiyak. This special was released as part of a 2-part VHS release in 1993 and the Dragon Ball Z DVD box in 2003. It has never been dubbed in English, as the Raging Blast version was only available with English subtitles. Now, moving on to number 4, we have Dragon Ball's public service announcements. Now, in 1988, there were 2 Dragon Ball public service announcements that were released. One of them was called Goku's Traffic Safety. As the name suggests, this quick announcement focused on following the rules of the road, as Traffic Agent Lady went across town correcting people who made driving mistakes or who made mistakes crossing the road. During all of this, Goku is traveling over to Bulma's place so that he can eat to the dismay of others. I should point out a quick observation that I made, in which Suno, who was originally in the Dragon Ball arc during the Red Ribbon Army saga, was in this special, and Goku does not recognize her at all, as they are complete strangers. In Goku's Fire Brigade, Goku teaches 2 kids in the park about the hazards of fire and how to properly deal with it. Goku is shown to have an effect on the brother and sister, as the kids were shown scolding their parents for safety hazards. We later see that he is then a member of the Fire Brigade, along with Krillin, Master Roshi, and Yamcha. In addition, later on in the episode, we see that Goku rescues Bulma and her cat Tama from a burning building. Both of these specials were released on July 7, 2004 as part of the Dragon Ball DVD box. Moving on to number 5, we have Goku's World, also referred to as the Televico Special. This is probably the most unique special on this list. To understand it, I first must explain what the Televico system is. In Japan, it was very popular for families to play on a game called the Televico system. Basically what happens is you plug in this specific phone to your TV, and once the video goes through a specific sequence, it would call you for a trivia question. If you answer correctly, you can then move on through the sequence. Now, after explaining all of that, the Goku's World Televico Special was one in which Goku, Trunks, and friends went through the history of Dragon Ball Z in a time machine. Through their adventure, they were asking trivia questions to the viewers about various things in the realm of Dragon Ball. Ultimately, after their trip, Goku encounters Cell and fights him, forcing him to flee away. Like all Televico products, this was available only by buying the VHS tape along with the Televico phone device. Moving on to number 6, we have the Summer Vacation Special. This is by far one of the rarest specials to date. It is so rare that I had to ask Ken Zyro, one of the popular translators for Dragon Ball Super, to help me translate this raw special. Airing in 1992, this special was created as an attempt to promote movie 7, better known as Super Android 13. During the special, Goku and Gohan discuss all of the prior movies that have taken place, which includes the first 3 Dragon Ball movies, along with the first 6 Dragon Ball Z movies. On a subjective note, I should point out that it was very interesting to hear the commentary provided by Goku and Gohan as they discuss all of the adventures that took place in each movie. The special then ends showing snippets of the Super Android 13 movie and Goku growing tired of wearing the fancy clothes that he wore for the presentation. This special was never translated and never released on DVD. Moving on to the rarest special in the entire list, we have the Dragon Ball Z Year-End Special. This is definitely the rarest special on the list. The reason being is that the majority of people who have even seen this special have only seen the extremely low quality YouTube version. To sum this special up, Goku takes a quick trip from the afterlife to spend time with his family for New Year's. While at home, he and his family pretty much reminisce about the biggest moments of Dragon Ball Z in 1993. This includes many of the moments fighting against Cell. In addition, Goku also talks about his time in the other world, fighting against Pikkon and others. The special then ends with Goku telling everyone about the upcoming 25th Tenkaichi Budokai that he will be coming back for, as we saw during the Buu saga. Now, I should point out quickly that this special is only about 5 minutes long, and it has never had a mass release, it has never been translated, and it was never included on the Dragon boxes. So to close this video out, I'm going to talk about 2 honorable mentions that almost made this list, but they were just a little too popular to be a part of the 7 rarest specials. The first is the World of Dragon Ball Z, which is basically Funimation's retelling of the Dragon Ball story from the beginning of Dragon Ball up to the Trunks saga. This OVA was released as part of the Trunks Saga Z Warriors Prepare set, along with all of the Android Saga DVDs and the 2000 release of Bardock the Father of Goku movie. On a side note, I should point out that this OVA was narrated by Christopher Sabat, the voice of Vegeta and Piccolo. For a fun fact, I should also mention that some of the flashback scenes shown used the Ocean dub audio, as Funimation did not have the complete rights to the series at that point in time. For the other honorable mention, I have 2011's episode of Bardock. Similar to the Yearend Goku and his friends return special, this also had a manga adaptation done by Naho Oishi. This story entails a what-if scenario in which Bardock was transported back in time by Frieza's blast to destroyed planet Vegeta. After meeting several planet inhabitants, Bardock encounters Lord Chilled, an implied ancestor of Frieza, along with all of his henchmen. Out of a need, Bardock turns into a Super Saiyan, defeats Chilled, and walks into the sunset that many of you already probably know. Interestingly enough, this special was released as part of Sakio Jump's bonus DVD, along with being released as a bonus feature for the Xbox Connect. So guys, that has been my video for today. Overall, I hope you guys learned something new about all of these specials. I'd like to thank Kanzenshuu for helping provide some of the sources used throughout this video, and I also have a special thanks for Geekdom for helping me plan out some of the elements used in this video as well. He makes great Dragon Ball content, and a link to his channel will be in my description. On another note, for our hashtag of the day, I want you guys to pick which one of these would you want to have in English released the most. Personally, I would pick Yearend Goku and his friends return because it has good length, a fun little story, and it would be somewhat of a popular release now that Battle of Gods has already been out, considering the fact that Yearend Goku and his friends return takes place around the same period in time. So with everything said, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and remember, as I always say, to have a great day guys, and please spread the word about this brand new series.